Please, we will take the Akwa Ibom State Anthem. Please, I'll crave our indulgence to stand for another 1 minute as we hand this event over to God in prayer. The Reverend Dr. Socio-Economic, please accept to lead us as we pray.
Shall we pray today? Our precious and great God, the one who began yourself and met us in your image. We have come today because you've called us to come. We thank you, Lord, for making this day a reality. We thank you, Father, for your servant whom you have given to us as a gift, His Excellency, the Governor, Pastor Dr. Baseno, to lead this state at a time like this. We thank you for this gathering, which through the initiative you've given to him, we have gathered to listen to some of the things people may not have known, and how these things have impacted the state, to give us greater joy and hope for the future. Father, we ask that because you brought us safely, as we stay, you shall continue to lead us. And at the end of this meeting, we shall go back gloriously, to the glory of your name, and the testimony to your name too, and the benefit of mankind. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you very much, Pastor, and welcome yet again to all of us. Your Excellency and Your Excellencies, I welcome all of us this morning to a very strategic engagement, which is the public presentation of the socio-economic impact of the Arise agenda in the last 2 years. His Excellency, our Governor, is a man who believes deeply in appraisals and self-appraisals and audits of progress. And today he has gone a step further, not just to internally appraise himself, but to put himself on the scale and have all of us judge how far he has come thus far. Before we go full swing into the event of today, please allow that I take another 2-3 minutes to acknowledge the leaders who are here in this ensemble this morning. I want to welcome all of us first, to put our hands together, celebrate and welcome the man carrying the vision and the leader of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino, PhD, Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much. We acknowledge the brass band will come back somewhere at the end for want of time. We acknowledge the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Her Excellency Distinguished Senator Dr. Mrs. Akone Yagayi. Please can we celebrate her? Let me also acknowledge respectfully the Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, who is also seated. Please can we celebrate her? Honorable Justice Ekaite Obot, we celebrate your esteemed presence. Let me acknowledge respectfully our leaders who are here. Of course, as you know, they are here to support and, of course, to promote the vision of His Excellency the Governor, and to also see what has been going on in Akwa Ibom State in the last 2 years. Let me welcome the Honorable Minister Budget and National Planning, who is here in Akwa Ibom State today. Please, can we celebrate His Excellency Atiku Bagudu? Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? We welcome you, and we're truly honored to have you in Akwa Ibom State. Let me acknowledge our own minister, the one who works with him in Abuja, His Excellency. Let me acknowledge the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Obongeme, Ekpo. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? Thank you so much. We honor and appreciate you. From the Governors Forum, before we move over to other dignitaries who are here, let me acknowledge the representative of the Governors Forum who is here in Akwa Ibom State today, Professor Abba Gambo, who is our Greek advisor, Nigeria Governors Forum. We welcome you, and we're truly, truly honored to have you in Akwa Ibom State. I honor all distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly who are here this morning. We acknowledge distinguished Senator Ekong Samson. On behalf of all the other members of the National Assembly, if I take a little more time, let me acknowledge respectfully distinguished Senator Emmanuel Libong-Essien, distinguished Senator Pyong Dixon-Bob, distinguished Senator Moishi Setuk, and their spouse. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate all of them? Of course, also from the Green Chambers, also seated here this morning, we acknowledge all members of the House of Representatives of the National Assembly. Obong Paul Eko is here. Please, can we celebrate him? Honorable Martins Henson is also present. We acknowledge you. Right Honorable Emil Kohn is also here. And of course, Honorable Dr. Patrick Kumar. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate all of them? Thank you so much for finding time to be here. I acknowledge the Director General of Campaign, Nigeria's former ambassador to the state of Russia, His Excellency Chief Assam Assam, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We are very delighted to have you in our midst. Your Excellency, let me acknowledge respectfully all members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly who have joined us here. We acknowledge all of you. I acknowledge respectfully also the Secretary to the government of Akwa Ibom State, Prince Enobongowa. Please let me put our hands together to celebrate him. The Head of the Civil Service, Elder Effiong Essien, is also here. The Chief Delivery Advisor, Mr. Neftok Johnson, is also here. Please can we celebrate all of them? I acknowledge respectfully all honorable commissioners as I begin to engage the reverse gears because the protocol will be rather too long if I want to exhaust all the people who ought to be honored. But I acknowledge all commissioners who are here. We appreciate your presence. Let me use the honorable commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Dr. Linus Nkan, to acknowledge all of them. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? Please, through you, we acknowledge all commissioners who are here. I acknowledge all our leaders, all our elders. Distinguished Senator Bishop Helen Eswen is seated to this side, of course, distinguished Senator Official. We acknowledge all of you, and we appreciate your esteemed presence. I acknowledge all the leaders, the stakeholders of the Akwa Ibom State project who have come out here. So many of you. Time would fail me to begin to acknowledge all of you by name, but I think beyond contention, the oldest of them all, who is always here to support the vision of His Excellency Pastor Moyo. Please can we acknowledge and celebrate Abong M.A. Afangide. Please can we put our hands together to celebrate him. Please, we acknowledge all the others who are here, and we truly appreciate all of you. Your Excellency, some strategic partners, some strategic guests have joined us here. Let me acknowledge, because what we're doing here today has great feelings with the statistics in Akwa Ibom State, from Akwa Ibom State to the nation. Let me acknowledge the Statistician General of the Federation, who is represented by Chief Austin Ayakora. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him wherever he's seated? We acknowledge your presence, and we're very happy to have all of you. Thank you so much. As I really begin to end, let me turn to my left as I acknowledge those who have come as panelists and other strategic partners at these events. Can we please put our hands together to celebrate and welcome Professor Akpan Ogan Eko. Please, can we celebrate him? I'm truly honored to have you, and we appreciate your presence. Former Vice Chancellor of the University of Lu, a renowned economist. There is no one who knows anything about economics in Nigeria who wouldn't know this great man. Let us also acknowledge respectfully Mrs. Nancy Ilonanji, who has also joined us here. Please, can you put our hands together to celebrate and thank you. We also want to acknowledge Mr. Terry Ikuni, who is also in the building. We acknowledge you. Thank you very much. And of course, Your Excellency, a great man who has come to join us in the happy hour state, even if I say so. Please, can we celebrate Dr. Ruben Abati and spouse? Please, can we celebrate him? Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me plead to punctuate here on the introductions, not because we've exhausted all the honors we have, but because we came here for serious business, and what I just did is not as serious as the serious things that are to come. But because I honor and respect you, by the way, before we end, let me acknowledge the lead presenter for today, Professor Chris Ekong. Please, can you put our hands together to celebrate him? And with that singular applause, can you please put your hands together, celebrate yourself wherever it is you are seated. Please, can you celebrate yourselves? Celebrate yourselves. We truly honor all of you, and all our guests who are here. We thank you, and we truly do appreciate you. Your Excellency, moving further, we want to have the Secretary of Government of Akwa Ibom State, Prince in Obonga to please accept to step forward to set the tone for our deliberations today. Please can we celebrate the SSG?
Your Excellency, our leader, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoino, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Senator Akweneyayi, my Lord, the Chief Judge, members of the National Assembly, the Honorable Ministers for Budget and Planning and Petroleum Gas, our son, our leaders, states, both in the state and nationally, ladies and gentlemen. On May 29, 2023, His Excellency Pastor Umoino took the solemn oath of office to lead the good people of Akwa Ibom State with a clear and courageous blueprint, the Arise Agenda. Today, as we gather for the public presentation of the socio-economic impact of the agenda, the theme for this engagement, measuring progress and deepening impact, compels both celebration and introspection. The Arise Agenda is not a mere slogan. It is a governing philosophy, a bold and deliberate roadmap anchored on conviction and clarity of purpose. It is a developmental compass guiding our shared journey towards a better, more inclusive and prosperous Akwa Ibom State. The Arise is an acronym for agricultural revolution, rural development, infrastructure and industrialization, security management, educational advancement, and economic empowerment. The agenda has 17 aspirations, thoughtfully articulated to serve as a guide in the strategic development of our state. 2 years into this journey, we gather not merely to report, but to reflect. This public presentation is a moment of introspection, a time to pause, to measure, to ask the hard questions that strengthen institutions and sharpen focus. It is also a celebration of courage, the courage to ask the right questions at the right time. Some of the questions we are here to ask and answer are we truly building what we promised when we're campaigning? Are we still leading in alignment with the principles and promises of the Arise Agenda? How far have we gone? Are we making good, steady, or truly transformative progress? What roadblocks remain on the path to full implementation? And more importantly, what must we do differently to not only steer the course, but to exceed expectation? On a personal note, I'd like to commend His Excellency Pastor Moino, not only for his unwavering commitment to the Arise Agenda, but also in this bold and reflective exercise. It is far easier to wait until the end of a tenure to present results, but it takes true leadership to open the books halfway, to weigh oneself on the scale, and invite others to look, listen, and speak. That, to me, is the spirit of servant leadership. It reminds me of Christ, who once asked his disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" Not after the resurrection, but before. Before the climax, before the full glory. So today, I invite all of us as stakeholders in this great Akwa Ibom project to engage with open hearts, open minds, and sincere intentions. When the floor opens for deliberation, let us speak not merely as critics or spectators, but as collaborators, contributors, and co-builders. For at the end of the day, Akwa Ibom belongs to all of us. And together, under the visionary leadership of His Excellency Pastor Moino, we can and we will arise to build the state of our collective dreams. Thank you for coming. Sit back and enjoy this session.
Thank you very much. The Secretary to the Government of Akwa Ibom State, be reminded, especially for those of us who have joined us on our live broadcast, that this event is a public presentation of the socio-economic impact of the Arise agenda in the last 2 years. And it is the initiative of His Excellency the Governor, where he puts himself, his actions, his policies on the scale, and has invited all of us to join in their praise now. Your Excellency, we've come to one of the most important moments here, where we will be listening and hearing from the visionary, from the man who indeed brought the Arise agenda to bear and who has worked in the last 2 years to ensure its implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together as we welcome His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for his address at these events.
Thank you so much. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, distinguished Senator Kone Yai, my Lord the Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellencies, the Honorable Minister for Budget and honoring us with your presence, Your Excellency, our son, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Gas, all other dignitaries that are here, please permit me that I just abridge our development partners, Toribly Institute, United Nations Development Project. We've seen Governors Forum representatives, all our guests. We've seen critical stakeholders, members of the fourth estate of the realm. I'm so privileged to see Dr. Ruben Abati today and your lovely wife, and Terry, Nancy, everybody that have joined us. Thank you so much, Prof. Oganepo, for cutting back your trip just to be here with us. We couldn't have done without you, as you only go to steal what you don't have. We cannot have you in the state as a very renowned economist, and we go looking for one. So thank you for honoring us with your presence. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the lead presenter, Professor Chris Ekong, for working with us to ensure that we partner with the university. Prof is my dean, and once a dean is always a dean, is my oga. So he's the lead presenter today, and he's familiar with the figures, and I've queried those figures over and over again. I think I felt like I was presenting my thesis again, you know. But thank you so much for accepting. But let me please, on behalf of all of us, acknowledge our father over 100 years, Chief Afangide, for always being by our side and supporting us. It gives us the joy to always be here, and we're grateful. I want to thank everyone that have made it here today, our critical stakeholders, our leaders. The chairman of my party, the All Progressive Congress, is here. That shows that this is a state project. We must be able to draw a distinction between having a state project and a party project. This is a state project, and as we say here in Akwa Ibom, this is Akwa Ibom United. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We are gathered here this morning in fulfillment of the promise I made in my inaugural speech to occasionally invite our people, our stakeholders, the larger political class, the media, civil society, and the corporate Nigeria to present our scorecard so they may know where we are going as a state and how we have so far utilized the resources available to us to advance the vision of our governance blueprint, the Arise agenda. This event with the theme, Measuring Progress, Deepening Impact, can be likened to a first half review where we pause to take stock of our progress so far, ask questions, assess impact through data representations, and look for ways of improvement where gaps may have been dictated. It is an opportunity to open up ourselves to receive contributions from those that we serve. It was the famed Austrian-American management expert, Peter Drucker, who once said that you can't improve what you can't measure. Let me thank the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Enobomuwa, the Executive Assistant and Chief Delivery Advisor, Mr. Nefiop Johnson, the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Dr. Linus Nkan, Statistician General of our state, the lead presenter, Professor Chris Ekong, and indeed the entire team that have gotten together in the last 1 month to produce the work we're about to distill this morning. Let me thank members of the Executive Council for working steadily to give us data as it has to do with their key ministries. And today, we are here to distill this important statistical document that details our achievements across sectors in the last 2 years. We are a government that is data-driven, which is why the State House of Assembly expeditiously signed into law the bill we had sent to establish a standalone Bureau of Statistics. The bill was signed into law by me some months ago. Let me again thank the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Right Honorable Udemo Tong, and the honorable members for their great cooperation and collaboration. We are also, by this event, demonstrating in practical and concrete terms our passionate commitment to transparency and accountability. I have been variously accused of not throwing money around on frivolous undertakings. Well, that may be true, but the question I would like to ask is, would you prefer me to fritter away the resources of the state on things that have no redeeming value, or rather on those undertakings that improve our living conditions? I'm sure your answer will be no. One of the first things I did shortly after I came into office was to set up an internal evaluation team domiciled in my office to help streamline and eliminate wastages in our procurement processes. This has remained one of the ways where governments have always overspent themselves. Through the great work this team has done, we have saved the state billions of naira in contract procurement. We have redefined policy procurement implementation plan, and we have set up the policy procurement law that have helped us to follow steadily our procurement, execute our procurement policies. We're executing audacious projects, providing our services. We've built so far over 205 Arise compassionate homes across the length and breadth of this state for the less privileged, for people that when you see their living condition, you will know that they deserved our intervention. Our target, by the grace of God, in this first term will be 400 houses. But just last week when we did the review, my senior special assistant on Direct Labor Committee, Barrister Morgan, told me we can do 500. I hope he keeps to his words. We are paying down backlog of gratuities from where we met it. And this gratuities date back to 2012. And today, from 90 billion or thereabout, we've run down to 78 billion. We are almost getting there and bringing the state back up to speed. We are providing funds for our retirees to access medical care and to be able to live a life they are so envisioned, even in these hard times. We are building economic viable roads and bridges. We bought 2 brand new CRJ 900 Bombardier aircraft, and payment was done outright from the state covers. We have taken delivery of 2 Airbus 200/300 series. We are getting the international terminal at the Victor Atta International Airport ready for operations and meeting all other obligations to Ibom Air and the larger aviation ecosystem. Model primary healthcare centers are being built across the state. Healthcare delivery services are being improved and expanded, with free medical services extended to various layers of our society, especially the most vulnerable under our RISE medical insurance scheme. I have been briefed that so far we have over 130,000 people that have been registered under the scheme. And this is just about, we started over a year ago. Just yesterday, we commissioned the first mother and child hospital in Ibom local government area, a project that shows President Tinubu's passionate dedication to tackling mother-child mortality rate, especially those in the rural areas. We are building tourism assets all over the state. Chief among them is the Arise Resort, which upon completion will be the mini Disneyland of Nigeria. The Honorable Commissioner for Information will ensure that some of you get to visit the Arise Resort and see for yourself how resources can be applied for the common good. The land upon which the Arise Resort sits used to be a gully erosion-ravaged ravine, which by now would have actually consumed the government house. We are priming Akwa Ibom State beyond oil with other strategic investments in tourism, blue and digital economies. The Managing Director, Chief Executive of Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation will be making a presentation later today on investment opportunities that we have created in the state. The various projects executed by government across sectors. Through various projects we have executed across sectors, we have created jobs. We have gotten thousands of our people out of poverty in line with the SDG goals. We have looked into such cases as children out of school, which has been one of the statistical data we do not agree with the National Bureau of Statistics. Given our free and compulsory education in our public schools, from primary to secondary, and generous grants and bursaries given to our students in tertiary institutions, today we'll present our data and would like to engage with the MBS on how to correct some of this data, which I just believe that we can engage. We can look at the modus operandi, so we can come to the same level, and our state could see, and people could see how we have progressed. It is not too good to consistently carry on with the data that we have collected, maybe 2020, 2021. We have made some significant improvement, and we are prepared to have that engagement. The interventions we have made have led to continuous improvement in our school enrollment. Thousands of our people are also being lifted from poverty through the provision of social services and employment opportunities, generous business and farmers grants, and other empowerment schemes given to our youths. Through our intervention and in the distribution of stable free food items drawn from the social register, we have ensured that our people, especially the most vulnerable, are able to take care of their critical food needs, while we encourage them to go back to the farm. We have instituted such programs as Farmers Grant. We have instituted such programs as a home garden competition, where every one of us have farms in our homes and gardens. All the vegetables I eat in government house comes from my personal farm. And if I could have a farm, everyone here could have a garden farm. There's no need to complain that pepper, tomato, okra is on the increase. When our grandparents, our forebears, had home gardens where they could easily stroll in and take these products and cook and even make the food very fresh. So we'll continue to encourage our people to go back to the farm. Over 50 audacious projects are currently ongoing in our state, apart from roads. And we are doing all this without borrowing one single dime from the banks. These projects are fully funded because we have decided that we'll use the resources of Akwa Ibom State to work for Akwa Ibom people, not for individual groups or interests. We must thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration for making funding available to state government. And this has helped us to close the gap and to ensure that we work with our people. But just like the Bible in Philippians chapter 3 verse 13 to 14 says, we are not resting on our oars. We are pressing forward, not counting what we have already collectively achieved or may have achieved, but with renewed hope for what lies ahead, especially with our progressive movement to the center. Let me use the opportunity again to thank the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, for the leadership he has provided, and for ensuring that we at the subnational levels have the resources to fund our projects. It deserves our support to continue with these his laudable reforms and good work for the nation. I am very proud to stand behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Akwa Ibom is proud too. We decided to present this quantitative data analysis mainly, as I stated before, to show how we have utilized the resources to impact lives and also to present the true picture of our statistical data that is authentic and verifiable. Today, we are here to answer and provide the right perspective. We are honored to have the immediate past Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Uyo, Professor Chris Ekong, who will shortly take us through what we have recorded in all our sectors in the Arise agenda and where we are going in the next 2 years, and by the grace of God, by the support of the Akwa Ibom people, in the next 6 years. Through this presentation, you will see how we have impacted the lives of our people across sectors, presented immeasurable and verifiable authentic data. Like I said, we are open to comments, we are open to suggestions, we are open to take in, we are even open to criticism with solutions. I like criticism because it's what sparks the glow inside of us. But I like criticism to come with suggestions. Sometimes it's easier to drink water from a cup and you think water is good. But the day you are thrown into the ocean, you know that that same water can consume you. So when you criticize, come with solution. Let's reason together. Even God himself said, come, let us reason together. Like the Secretary to Government said, Akwa Ibom State belongs to all of us. And Akwa Ibom State is a beacon of hope for our people and the rest of the nation. So there is a need for us to get it right. Akwa Ibom State has remained one of the most peaceful states in this country. And I want to especially thank members of the security team that have worked so hard to ensure that we have a peaceful state. Our security agencies, well, they work in collaboration. You don't see that unhealthy rivalry amongst them. We wanted, of course, without security, all of the things we have achieved couldn't have been possible. Statistics have indicated that we continue to score an all-time low in cases of kidnapping, armed robbery, and cult activities. It happens once in a while, but if you look at the record from 2023 till now, you know that it's been extremely, extremely low. There has been minimal disruptions in the operation of IOCs. There's been so much minimal. We've had little or no cases of pipeline vandalization in Akwa Ibom State. And this is the work of our security agencies. Let me thank the Honorable Commissioner, Internal Security and Waterways, General Koko Essien, for helping us coordinate his colleagues and giving us the right impetus to work. We want to thank you. Intra and intercommunal disputes have reduced tremendously, and we continue to have this achievement because of the significant improvement in intelligence-led community policing, as well as collaboration with other security agencies. Our Ibom Community Watch is doing a great, great work and will soon be completing a line of recruitment. So all of this, we have worked together as a people. We are harnessing the people. When it comes to matter of state, we approach governance from an all-inclusive standpoint. Yes, we have our different political parties, but when it comes to the development of Akwa Ibom State, we are first Akwa Ibomites. And that is why I continue to thank our political party leaders for having this understanding that we play politics with a human face. We play politics not to vilify people, but to bring out issues and to discuss and give the Akwa Ibom people the opportunity to decide what they want for themselves. And that's why consistently we have brought and lowered the temperature of political rhetorics in our state. In conclusion, I would like the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics to work with us. I believe they will accurately capture the gains we have made in this state in the last 2 years, and our drive to provide more transparent and people-centric governance for our people. We'd like our development partners to work with us and to let us look at the model we'll continue to use and that is acceptable globally to improve the life and well-being of our people. But I dare conclude by saying that Akwa Ibom is indeed rising. The fundamentals for growth are rock solid. Investment opportunities abound, and we invite you to come, live, invest, and thrive in this great land. And like Dr. Ruben Abati Urieko, let's have the happy hour only when we have finished working and there's always time to rest, because all work without play makes us dull people. The happy hour is meant for people who have worked hard and you are permitted to rest. I close with a Yoruba proverb that says, "Ọmọ tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ déédéé, ó yẹ kó lásìkò ìgbádùn, ìgbà tó ń fi jayé." Thank you and welcome. God bless you.
Please, can we applaud His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Thank you very much. Your Excellency, we appreciate you for the great work that you have done. On a light note, Your Excellency, if it is not that we all know that you're supporting His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, wholeheartedly, with the fluency in how you speak the Yoruba language, we would have thought that you will be the President of the country in 2027. But we know where you stand, and we know why you stand where you stand. We'll move on to take the next item on the agenda for today, which will be for us to listen to watch a short documentary on the achievements of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Late administration in the last 2 years. But it's captioned as a short documentary on the socio-economic impact of the Arise agenda in the last 2 years. The multimedia team, please. This is where you come.
Since May 29, 2023, when Governor Omoino, PhD, took over the reins at the Hilltop Mansion, marking the beginning of the golden era, there has been an unusual upward pull, propelling the state to the front burners of national and global conversations, a testament to resolve, purpose, resilience, and vision. Governor Omoino, who, on assumption of office, launched the ambitious and clinically delivered Arise agenda, is consciously knitting the state together in a fabric of prosperity, unity, and inclusion. From agriculture and rural development to infrastructural expansion, security management, and educational advancement, the state has evolved through the 5 pillars and 17 focal areas of the Arise agenda into a leading socio-economic front on the African continent, constantly opening up to promising vistas. Across demographics, women, youth, the elderly, the vulnerable, and people with disabilities, everyone has found a platform where their concerns are not only heard, but prioritized. Hitherto unreached communities are now singing redeemable tunes, transitioning from despair to hope. His promise to lead a state where every worthwhile dream can be fulfilled is daily reaffirmed by his focus on building people as his greatest legacy. With a bag full of impactful achievements, Governor Omoino, in the galaxy of Nigeria's political elites, stands out, pointing the world to the gains of massive investments in a magnitude that has brought significant socio-economic improvement in the lives of the citizenry. In education, a network of smart classrooms, model schools, teacher welfare interventions are nurturing a knowledge-driven generation prepared to compete globally, occasioning in its wake significant increase in school enrollment and continued reduction in the number of out-of-school children. The world-class health centers across the 31 local government areas have been widely adjudged revolutionary as more people are beginning to access Medicare through the health insurance program of the state government, which has recorded over 122,000 enrollments in less than 1 year. While other strategic investments in re-equipping and repurposing secondary health facilities, as well as the upcoming 350-bed international hospital with 29 departments, is designed to make the state Nigeria's preferred healthcare hub. In economic empowerment, the results speak. Over 30,000 citizens have been actively engaged in various reducing unemployment. The Arise Resort, a bold and multifaceted tourism facility, raised from the over 70 hectares of reclaimed gullies to bright destination prospects, affirm that there is something for everyone in Governor Omoino's vision, where people from all over the world can now find in Akwa Ibom a warm destination for business and recreation. Governor Omoino has reinforced Akwa Ibom's status as a hub for aviation and economic growth. through aviation development such as the acquisition of 4 new aircraft for IBM Air and the execution of 10 ongoing projects within the aviation ecosystem. These include the completion of a world-class international terminal building, taxiway, airport security and surveillance system, medical facility, and more, firmly positioning the state for increased air traffic and investment. To enhance the safety of lives and property, the administration has procured modern security gunboats and patrol vehicles to strengthen both coastal and internal facilities, in addition to ongoing construction of a security control and command center. In the transport sector, plans are well on the way for the rollout of compressed natural gas CNG-powered city buses, alongside the construction of modern terminals and a central maintenance center, marking a significant leap towards cleaner, more efficient urban mobility. More so, the governor has prioritized workers' welfare and shown great support for labor by approving a new minimum wage of 80,000 naira. He has also committed 78 billion naira so far towards clearing a backlog of over 92 billion naira in pensions and gratuities for retired workers, reaffirming his dedication to a government that truly cares for its people. But beyond the much already achieved, even grander projects are in the pipeline, poised to transform the state into a regional hub and investment beacon. These include Senior Citizen Center, Command and Control Center, Judiciary Village, Aviation Village, Doctors' Quarters, Equipment Leasing Company, International Market, Renal Medical and Dialysis Centers, model public secondary schools in each senatorial district, mother and child hospital, 100-hectare farm settlements in the 3 senatorial districts. These projects, among others, are carefully designed to consolidate progress and deepen impact. Governor Omoino's spectacular performance has not gone unnoticed. He has been decorated with multiple global and national honors, including African Leadership Magazine Governor of the Year, Africa Lifetime Achievement Award for Good Governance, This Day Newspaper Arise TV Governor of the Year 2024, Leadership Newspaper Governor of the Year 2024, Telegraph Newspaper Governor of the Year 2024, Trade Union Congress Most Labor-Friendly Governor, and Nigeria Union of Journalists Most Media-Friendly Governor. On fiscal responsibility, financial transparency, and prudent management of resources, Governor Eno has evolved a standard that sets Akwa Ibom ahead in fiscal discipline. Stakeholders and leaders across a wide spectrum of interests agree that Akwa Ibom State has earned its seat at the global table of good and responsive governance, with Governor Omoino as a beacon of hope and brighter prospects for the future. These and many more have significantly enhanced productivity and impacted the quality of livelihood of the people. Our journey thus far elevates the widely held and accepted consensus that Akwa Ibom is in safe hands and will keep rising. With Governor Umo Eno, better days are indeed here.
Thank you very much, the multimedia team, and thank you very much, Your Excellency, Pastor Umoina, for the great work that you're doing in Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, if a mother would have to talk about his or her child, it is expected that the mother would embellish the child and, of course, make the child beautiful. So there is a tendency for people to think, and most of the things you have said, or even the documentary has played, which is produced by members of your team, are the words of a mother, which would embellish the child. But we're going to take another item that will take the narrative a little bit beyond Your Excellency. To now be the words of an officious bystander, appraising, as it were, the beauty of your child through the Arise agenda. But before I do so, Your Excellency, on the soft note yet again, when you finished speaking, I had the fortune or misfortune of walking into the auditorium. And a lot of people started asking, what's the meaning of what His Excellency said? As if I was with you in Lagos. I wasn't there. Even the lead presenter also asked, what does that mean? Just in case he can provide a foundation for what he is to say. And I had to do a little research to know the meaning. So please, to all those who asked and those who couldn't ask, hear now the meaning of the Yoruba proverb spoken by His Excellency. Don't ask me to repeat the proverb, but take the meaning. The meaning is that if a child works hard, and works hard enough to bring result, that the father, no matter how strict, should allow the child some time to also play. It's more of a deeper, presentation of the popular aphorism that all work without play makes Jack a dull boy. Maybe if we all walked in Akwa Ibom so that there was no time for happy hour, Your Excellency, as we take the next item now, two idioms, two expressions combined to highlight what we are about to do now in leadership. The first is that it is often said that if a man wants to conduct an orchestra properly, he must back the audience. And it is said so that you are not distracted by what the audience is saying. You just focus on your work, which is what leadership is supposed to be about. But yet, another proverb comes to say that when a woman is dancing, she doesn't know the alignment of her back, which also calls the leader to frequently turn to the back to ask those who were watching, how did I dance? So today in this auditorium, we have a governor who has conducted the orchestra and has oftentimes not looked back to ensure that the sheep Akwa Ibom is selling. But today he also understands the need to look back to ensure that he is dancing properly and that his back is not open. But he's not doing that by calling a member of his team, maybe the Commissioner for Information, to come to speak to us. The gentleman who is the lead presenter today holds a PhD in economics. But that is not all, Your Excellency. This gentleman that is to present the socio-economic impact of the Arise agenda in the last 2 years has been in and out of public service. He's not just the immediate past dean of your faculty, but he's a man who has been commissioner in Akwa Ibom State and has served in various government parastatals within or between the years 2001 to 2009. He has been a commissioner. He has been chairman of several boards. He has been a member of the Revenue and Mobilization Committee. And Your Excellency, he has even been appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari to serve as a member on the Socio-Economic Impact Board in this particular country. And I say all of this to say that the man who is about to appraise His Excellency the Governor today knows his onion. He understands how to determine and measure the socio-economic impact of any growing economy. He has done it before, and he is about to do it again. Your Excellency, please, this may not be press singing. This will be real, which is why I think you didn't want your commissioner to make this presentation. It's now for us to hear from the lead presenter, a very renowned economist, someone from outside who has judged the Arise agenda in the last 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if your hands are not busy, please put them together as we welcome Professor Christopher Ekong as he accepts to come forward for the lead presentation of the socio-economic impacts of the Arise agenda in the last 2 years.
Bring it down, I'm not a tall man. Thank you very much. Our dear Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Umar Basi Eno, PhD, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Ministers, distinguished members of the National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I come here today to continue my work in assessing you. And that, rightly, I will do. If I have the pointer, I would like it. But if you have it, you can go on. I want to look at the rights agenda. And in your document, in our state document, this agenda is a socio-economic blueprint of this government and its administration. And the agenda is aimed at the rapid transformation of the developmental fortunes of Akwa Ibom State. And it is anchored on 5 pillars and 17 focal points. This is what we're going to look at today. Your Excellency, and all of us in this banquet hall, for me, the overall goals of the rights agenda is nothing but to build for Akwa Ibom State a smart, resilient, and diversified economy anchored on robust, innovative strategies. That is what I discovered from what you are doing in this case. You are building nothing but a very smart economy. And when I look beyond the books, I notice that at the midterm of the implementation of the rights agenda, sir, you've not borrowed any money. And you told us earlier today, and you've been saying it. I looked through all the books. I didn't see you borrow money. Something touched me. So my probe indicates the feat is expressly occasioned by fiscal discipline of the state government, indicated by fiscal transparency, which is timely report of accounting of your accounts, strict monitoring and compliance with procurement procedures, which you just said, which reduces leakages from government revenue and budgetary discipline, where this government aligns its expenditure with budgetary provisions. And in my assessment, I want to look at the inputs and outputs of the rights agenda. You spent some money. Has it brought anything home? You said so, but I want to look at it. And let us look at it together in this house. So we take the first focal point, which is in the first strategy or agenda, which is agricultural revolution. The objective, you have said, as indicated in the rights document, is to promote sustainable agriculture as a critical sector of the state's economy, to achieve food security and end hunger, and therefore improve nutrition. And agricultural programs that the rights agenda has implemented with benefits derived. The first one I saw was the multiplication seed farm plantation, which is robustly implemented by your agency through Ministry of Agriculture. And what are the inputs or the outputs of this? First of all, the inputs. There's also your provision of agricultural processing machines, 25,060. Beneficiaries from grants that you've given in that sector, agricultural sector, 2,322. Quantity of farm inputs, 327,000. And processing machines, 13,060. And from that document, the total amount there is about 1.8 billion. That is what is sunk in as input. What's the output? The outputs have been skilled and unskilled labor employed, 884. Farm inputs beneficiaries who are doing farming now, 40,900. Crop produced, we measure it in tons. So we measure in the tonnage of crop produced, we have 2.07 million, and fish produced in numbers, 2.762 million. That is what is happening in the state, which you have said NBS should come and work with our state to see that something is happening in Akwa Ibom State. And if you look at the table below, we summarize the number of farmers and farm produce, which includes, like we have stated, for crop, for fish, and for livestock. That is the estimated market value of what these sectors produce. Let us look at the impact of what has happened in the agricultural sector. There is increase in agricultural productivity, which has made the prices of agricultural products to go down. And with this, it beats down food price inflation. There is also rural development through improved access. What the access you've made to these rural areas and improved access to the communities due to government intentional building of rural roads to access farm settlements and rural markets. Then, that is done for agriculture. The great leap that we have seen in the past 2 years. We have not even gotten to third year. You know, it is only now we are planting. When we start harvesting, more is going to come. The rain will fall in Akwa Ibom, and not bad rain, but good rain. That's what I've seen from your documents. In tourism, I was wondering whether you had a second after reading your documents and seeing the things you have done in tourism. The objective of your tourism blueprint is to develop the tourism and hospitality sector by leveraging the rich socio-cultural heritage of the state, making the state the estate or a tourist destination in the country. The additional objective is to maintain and advertise tourism sites in the state. Because we intend to make Akwa Ibom, from your document, you intend to make Akwa Ibom a destination and not a place where people just come and pass and go. That is why you've just told us, we will see later in a presentation what you have turned a ravine to be, where people are going to play golf now in ravine and even stay there and enjoy themselves. So the key projects undertaken by the RISE agenda include construction of Unity Park with a 20,000-seater amphitheater in Uyo, construction of a RISE resort in Uyo, restoration of old slave boats at Marina, Waniba, Orang, Ibom Towers in Lagos, and Ibom Hotel in Abuja. Then the 5,000 capacity Ibom Convention Center at Ibom Hotel and Shopping City. That is the table indicates the tourism activities that takes place in our state. In 2023, we had the initial, what we call Christmas Unplugged. The first Christmas Unplugged saw 1,700 people being employed. Tourists that came into the state in that year, 1.5 million. And we had 30 artists, kiosks, open space. But in 2024, you see the leap. And if you talk in percentages, it's more than 10%. That was just the first year. And we hope that this year, figures will triple. If we talk about our airports, you see the increase in the number of people comes embarking from Akwa Ibom, that it is increasing. It means that there's something that is attracting people into the state. And we know by the time we draw the statistics for this year, we're going to have more numbers coming into this by boarding and disembarking from the state. Sorry if I bore you. I'm an economist. We speak figures. If you are bored by figures, there's a time we'll tone down. Maybe when my father, Professor Ban Hoganebo, comes, we will know how to tone down. He taught us how to play with figures. What's the impact on the state economy by tourism? First is increased level of employment, and tourism has united Akwa Ibom people through shared culture and encouraging coexistence and hospitality. There is elevation of state's image globally, and making Akwa Ibom a destination for culture, adventure, and business. And there is also the attraction of foreign direct investment. There is no way you go to Nigeria, outside Nigeria, that people will ask you about Edika income, Ebang Koko. Those girls that dance, they dance that they twist their body and shift their body. That's the kind of questions I ask. And we are proud to have this in Akwa Ibom. Let people speak good about us. We look at environmental management, what is done in that area. The objective of the agenda is to ensure a sustainable environment, minimize human impact on the environment, and ensure a healthy planet for current and the future. And this is indicated in the SDG goals 1, 7, and 2, and 3. And the key activities undertaken, goals 3, 6, 7, and 8. The key activities undertaken in this sector include improved management of the Uyo mega dump site. That is what we have seen. The massive desilting of the drains across the state, sweeping of roads across the state, public enlightenment programs to enlighten citizens on environmental management using media, schools, and even villages, because I've heard in my village where they do gong and tell people to go and sweep and keep the village tidy. So I think those are the key activities that have been undertaken in that area. So what are the outputs? The impact. We've seen a high up prevention of flood even during extreme raining conditions. We've seen reduced pollution accumulation, and we've seen controlled outbreak of diseases due to routine environmental sanitation and waste evacuation. Then the second strand is rural development, women, and empowerment. The objective is clear: to sustain improvement of quality of life of the rural population by increasing their access to finance, capacity building, as well as provision of basic services like potable water, education, and healthcare, and to encourage and empower women by increasing their political and socio-economic participation in, and this is firm. This supports the SD goals 1, 2, and 10. It aligns with those goals. And those are the projects and programs that the government, through their rice agenda, had implemented in this area. And you can go through the tables, the construction of rice compassionate homes, which the Excellency had earlier mentioned, and we put it in real figures, 205, Grace Estate 236, Basic Services Grant for 50 communities on, to execute micro projects, 4,050, AK Cares, construction of 76 feeder roads, and engaged 3,420 labor, and also the wet markets in 30 local governments, which are employed about 720. Then 60 Livelihood Collective, that is cooperative for value chain productivity, formation made of 77,058 women across the state. Then we have the Rights Initiative for Elderly, which gives 50,000 naira to 7,200 elderly Akwa Ibom people, amounting to 360 million. Arise Youth Business Grant of 729 million, business grant for 14,580 youths, male. For female, it is 50,000 each for 40 of such youths. The 1.8 billion 6 months stipend for 30,000 youths at 10,000 naira each, and also 502.75 million one-off grant of 50,000 to 150 grant, or 150,000 to 10,055 youths. Yet in Akwa Ibom. It continues, so you can read along the table. Please, let's go. Finally, we have 1,560 social workforce benefited from 7 months backlog of stipends, monthly allowances, and social workforce benefited from 7 months backlog of our stipends, monthly allowance. Sorry for the repetition there. So that's what has happened in that area. So what's the impact? We see this impact, that about 502 Akwa Ibom people from 50 communities now have access to ICT centers, health centers, motorized boreholes, through basic services grants, and the construction of 72 new federal rural roads and 30 wet markets across the state has enhanced easy transportation and distribution of agricultural products to final consumers. And also grants disbursed has stimulated economic activities across the state, increasing purchasing power and increasing the general well-being of the people in the states. Let's talk about infrastructure development. The objective of the agenda on infrastructure is the development and critical infrastructure to improve the standard of living, especially in rural areas, and to provide adequate, sustainable, and affordable higher developed housing in secure and developed areas, to promote efficient and effective and sustainable transportation, road, sea, air, and rail infrastructures and services. That's what the agenda says. If you want to read with me, you'll see and wonder where the state government is taking the money to implement all these projects at the same time in just 2 years of this administration. See from number 1, road construction, bridges, drainage, erosion control facility. That is the direct labor and indirect labor it has generated in the state. Victor International Airport, development stroke expansion, has generated 722 employment. The Rice Resort has generated 1,794. Maritime and passenger jetty in Oron has generated 137. Amphitheater has generated 219. Perimeter fencing at the Unity Park has generated 89. Please, if you go on, you will believe the governor that we have to sit down with MBS to look again of unemployment in Akwa Ibom State, because we must consider this as vast employment being opened in Akwa Ibom State. And you look at all these things, from Ibom Model Farm, hotel in Lagos, Ibom Tower in Abuja, model primary schools, senior citizen center, all of these are capital projects that have been implemented by the government, which has generated so much employment. And with this employment, it makes people to have the capacity to spend and take care of themselves. Next slide. What's the impact of infrastructure development? The impact we've seen is a total of 105 road projects have been executed in the state. A total of 19,093 employments has been created. Construction of roads and bridges has reduced transport costs, enhanced free flow of movement across the state, access to market, increased food security, create both permanent and temporary jobs, promote intra and interstate commerce, and reduce road-related accidents. Because when you have good roads, you're not going to have accidents. Then let us zero down on ICT development, which is what is going to drive the smart economy that we are looking for. What have the state done in this area